What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and today I'm going to be reviewing the refines that we have got with this new update for Sonya, Merric, Klein, Sophia, Delthea, and Linde. And I'm also going to be going over their builds, so let us begin.
Let's have some fun.
Merric and Sonya both got Dark Excalibur Refine. It's just that Merric needs to spend a bit more divine dues for getting access to this weapon first. And this weapon's refine is quite similar to Navarre's Scarlet Sword. At start of turn 1, it gives you -2 special cooldown, and combined with the fact that Dark Excalibur gives you +10 damage when your special triggers, it's really nice for abusing high cooldown specials and even AoE specials with Special Spiral. And the +10 damage which you get from Dark Excalibur is true damage, it's flat damage, so that's amazing. This is really good for Aether Raid's defense, where you could give her something like Glimmer and she will have that charged up on the first turn. You could also give her Iceberg if you give her a Quicken Pulse, and with just one Infantry Pulse support, she could also have Glacies at start of turn, and this is really nice because of her high damage output with that special. You could also use this to set up Special Spiral, and this gives Sonya a niche where she could be a pretty nice Aether Raid's defense unit, and she could be pretty nice for short matches for abusing this special cooldown. I mean, you could definitely do that with Infantry Pulse before, but now she needs like less Infantry Pulse support to abuse her specials, which is definitely fantastic. The only problem with this refine is that if you're not running Special Spiral to completely abuse it, then after the first turn it really doesn't do much, so it's not going to be helping you much with longer matches, but still it can give you a strong start. And as for Merric, Merric does have really low base attack, but thankfully he actually has a super boon, and because he's easily available at 3-star and 4-star, he could be made into a budget Sonya, but still I would say that his vanilla Excalibur Refine is much better on him. And Dark Excalibur can also be run on Merric, but if he's highly merged, then he could definitely pull it off. It's definitely going to be seeing usage in Aether Raid's defense. Navarre does have this refine as well, but he hits on the defense and he's not a ranged unit like Sonya. So if you have her overlapping with some other threats on your Aether Raid's defense with some dancers, she can definitely pose as a problem because of her high damage output.
Time for a little discipline.
Her first build is a budget build using Fury Desperation. The only problem with this build is that Sonya is not really fast enough with that base 31 speed. Even with Fury and Darting Blows, you would definitely need to give some speed support to her, but this is a budget build. You could have Glimmer instantly charged up at the start of map, so that can give you a strong start, and Res Plug can also help you with your damage output. Her second build is a budget Aether Raid's defense build with Quicken Pulse and Iceberg, so Iceberg is going to be charged up at the start of map, which is pretty fantastic, and Shield Speed can help prevent doubles. So this is the kind of budget build for Aether Raid's defense which you could run. So it is going to be giving you 27 points of damage with Dark Excalibur with that Iceberg. And if you have an Infantry Pulse ally on your team, then you could actually run Glacies to have even bigger nuke with that 38 points of damage with that Glacies. Her third build is using Special Spiral, and now we're kind of moving towards the expensive build. So Dark Excalibur can make Glimmer charged up at start of map, and then Special Spiral is set up so she can have infinite glimmers, which can be really powerful with Deathblow, and you can run Deathblow 4 as well if you have extra Brave Celica. So this can be a consistent build, and Glimmer is just much better than Moonbow, so you definitely want to run that. Her fourth build is using Blue Flame from Owain. It's definitely an expensive build, and it does give you 25 points of damage when she's near an ally, and if you trigger that, and with Dark Excalibur, that becomes 35 points of damage, so you could run Quicken Pulse to have it charged on the first turn, and Wings of Mercy can be pretty nice for synergizing with the Blue Flames effect, or if you have got allies with something like Guidance, that can also synergize well with this, so you could have a bit more powerful nuke. And the fifth build is utilizing the AoE build. So you definitely want to run Life and Death for this because the AoE specials do count your visible attack. They do not count attack from stuff like Deathblow or anything like that, which gives you attack during the combat when they calculate the damage. So Life and Death is a must, which does hurt her resistance, but you have to do it. Her Dark Excalibur Refine is going to be putting Blazing Wind at 2 cooldown, and with just one hit, if Heavy Blade triggers, you could set this up and basically have AoE specials from there if she can trigger Heavy Blade, and the +10 true damage from her weapon does get factored into the AoE damage as well, so this can be a pretty good build. The only problem is that she is going to be susceptible to Vantage users, so you could actually help set up the foe Vantage because you're not really having any kind of space of running Hardy Bearing here. Like Ophelia, unless you run Infantry Rush on another ally, which is not really all that possible many times, and it's also an expensive build. And make sure to give her attack support because she definitely needs that to trigger Heavy Blade. That's another problem which Sonya has got. She doesn't really have high enough speed to abuse Flashing Blade. She could get the attack for Heavy Blade, but you will have to have a plus attack IV and some attack support to do that consistently. Now our good old Rattlesnake Merric can actually also function with Dark Excalibur and do just as well as Sonya, but the catch is that you need to have plus in merge on your Merric to match the performance of a unmerged Sonya. So that's the thing, he's easily available, and if you're not able to get your hands on Sonya and if you really want to try this, then I guess Merric can be a budget Sonya. And honestly, his vanilla Excalibur Refine is much better in my opinion, but if you've got a merged Merric, then you could definitely try this. Because of Merric's high HP, you're not going to be able to set up Infantry Pulse all that easily on him because he's got 47 HP and he himself can run Infantry Pulse actually at that point. And finally the AoE build, so you can have a plus to Merric with the attack super boon and invest like 3 Dragon Flowers into him so that he can reach like 60 attack after an attack buff like Odd Attack Wave. A plus in Merric only has 1 less attack point than an unmerged plus attack Sonya. The only reason why this Sonya in this image has got 2 more attack points is because of the merge, so that can be done. And Merric is actually fast enough to use Flashing Blade with some support, so that can also be an option if you do not want to use Heavy Blade. So Merric can run the same builds as Sonya, but you need a small loan of 200,000 feathers to be able to do that with him. And as I said, his vanilla Excalibur Refine is much better in my opinion. It also takes you less divine dues, and that works better with a low merge or an unmerged Merric. And attack boon is definitely the way you want to go with Merric because that's a super boon. Same goes for Sonya. Her speed isn't really all that worth to invest into, so you definitely want to go with attack boon with both of these units. Merric can do one more thing with this weapon refine aside from being just a budget Sonya who's really expensive, I guess, and that is running a bulky build with close counter. So with this build, he's going to be able to retaliate back with soul every time, and the plus and true damage from his tome is going to be helping him a lot heal up HP. And he's going to be able to stay healthy and in the quick riposte range with this build. And this can be a good defensive build if you stack up a lot of defenses on him, like drive defense, spur defense, stuff like that. And if you want to have a more offensive approach, you can run Bonfire or Blue Flame. So that's a unique thing which Merric can do with this new weapon refine.
They call me the Archer General, for what that's worth.
Klein faced a lot of competition from other archers and he was just considered to be deathblow fodder, but not anymore because Klein is definitely the biggest winner out of this batch of weapon refines with his new Argent Bow. So this is an 8 Might Brave Bow which only gives you -2 speed penalty, which is absolutely fantastic with quad attacking, and Klein does have a workable speed stat and he can easily get a plus speed IV because he's present in the 3-star Enforcer pool easily with big quotation marks if you're lucky enough. So even if you do not refine his weapon, it's still a really good weapon on its own, but if you refine it, then you get the chill defense effect, which is really fantastic for a Brave Bow user. It's essentially giving you 14 extra damage on a unit who has got debuffed by chill defense if you're attacking them normally, and if you quad attack them, then it's 28 extra damage, which is really good. Usually Brave Bow units do suffer against armor units and dragon units who have got really high defense, so against them, chill defense can be a really potent tool, and even if Klein is not going to be attacking anyone, he can still provide the chill defense debuff, which serves as a really good utility. So Klein has become best accessible quad archer, which is really fantastic. For his IVs, you definitely want to go with the plus speed IV because it's the best one for quad attacking and goes really well with this weapon.
At this range,
his first build is a budget build with Fury Desperation, and you definitely want to use something like Darting Blow, Secret Seal if you're using Klein, because it helps him a lot with his quad attacks. It puts him at 43 speed. His second build is using Life and Death. Life and Death is for going all out offensive, and with this build he can reach 45 speed. His next build is using the Speed Refine. You can also go with the Speed Refine because it gives him +2 speed, which just nullifies the speed penalty of this weapon, and it also gives him +2 HP. So this can be done if you don't really have a lot of use of chill defense or you have another ally on your team that you use with Klein, who already has shield defense. In that case, you could just go with the speed refine and run something like defense smoke from Pan. That can be done, and this puts him at 47 speed, which is really high. This is what Klein looks at plus 10 merge. The build on the left hand side is for clearing up the in general content, and because he has got a legendary weapon now, you can actually score much better in arena with colorless infantry duel. And this weapon is pretty nice for cheerleading because it gives you chill defense debuff, and you can pair this up with another chill skill on slot B. So Klein can be pretty decent even as a cheerleader because of the utility he provides with his weapon.
I'll do my best.
Sophia was actually pretty well min-maxed for a Gen 1 unit. I mean, she's got low speed, pretty good mixed bulk, and an actual attack stat unlike Henry. And this weapon refine is absolutely amazing and plays into her strength of being a bulky Raven Tome user. A lot of people as it is did give her Raven Tome back then, and this is a straight up upgrade. Its weapon refine gives you bracing stance, giving you +4 defense and +4 res, and this is really amazing for a bulky unit like Sophia, and I'm really happy that they gave her bracing stance refine over something like distant defense. Bracing stance also works against melee range units if you run close counter, so it's definitely flexible in that regard. Having a bulky Raven Tome unit like her is going to be really helpful in ether raids because air is a really common unit, so is Brave Lynn and also Veronica, and in these seasons where Duma is a bonus unit, he's also pretty common. So overall, colorless units are rather common in ether raids, so against those, Sophia can be pretty nice. But the problem is that red isn't really the best Raven Tome color because you're going to be weak against a lot of the blue threats like Ophelia or Reinhardt and many more in ether raids, which are going to be having overlapping ranges with those colorless units. So it's not even a problem with her refine, it's actually her color. If she was a green color unit, then this would be so amazing. But still, you could use her to check colorless units, but you have to play around those blue threats first, so that's the thing. People used to use Owl Tomes on Sophia before she got this weapon, and even now, an Owl Tome is a pretty good weapon on her because you can scale up defense and res on her up to +6 and also give her the attack. But having 3 allies near Sophia is probably not really all that practical in something like ether raids, so both options are pretty good for Sophia. It really depends on what you want to do with Sophia. If she's something like plus and merge with close counter, then Owl Tome is also a pretty good option that you can have. And for budget builds and not that heavily invested Sophia's, Raven Tome is pretty fantastic. Her builds don't really change all that much because she still has the same role of a bulky Raven Tome user pretty much, and you just have to run Triangle Adept, Quick Riposte. You can also run Guard and Quick Riposte, and because of the fact that this weapon refine gives her +4 defense and +4 resistance, in the enemy phase you can actually run distant defense on slot A from Garen and also run distant defense as a Sacred Seal. With this build she can be incredibly bulky, able to reach 44 defense and 45 resistance in the enemy phase. And distant defense over Triangle Adept can make her work better against the neutral matchups, and in some cases even let her survive many of the disadvantageous matchups with a lot of buff stacking. That can be done. Null Counter Disrupt is really nice for one-round queuing Veronica and Fire Sweep Lynn and stuff like that. And this can be pretty useful if you have trouble against those units. Veronica is not going to be doing any kind of damage to her as it is, but with this you're able to one round KO her so that she doesn't get danced or something like that. Her final build is a max investment close counter build, and she has got fantastic bulk, is a pretty good user of close counter, and if you run close defense and with her weapon refine, she can be quite bulky.
Sorry, not sorry.
Linde and Delthea also got a new weapon refine with Dark Aura. Linde already had the vanilla aura refined, but this one is just much better for her, honestly. Gives her more flexibility when it comes to team composition, but it's gonna be costing you more divine dues, and this is the only weapon refine which Delthea's got. So the base effect of this weapon is kind of like Hone Attack 3.5 because it gives you +6 attack to the adjacent allies if they are melee range units. Not only it interferes with the transformation of beast units, but it's super outdated when we have got attack tactic and even Hone Attack 4 now. The special effect of this refine gives Delthea or Linde +5 attack and +5 speed if they are within 2 spaces of a melee range ally. So this is quite flexible from the vanilla aura refine which only worked with mages and staff units. So more flexibility is always really nice, even though this is just another bond refine, and both of these mages are strong offensive mages. Linde is better than Delthea overall because of having 2 more speed points and only missing out on 1 attack point, but Delthea can actually run ploys much better from Linde, so that's a thing which Delthea has got. But overall, I just consider Linde to be a superior mage compared to Delthea. And both of these units are 5-star exclusive, so it's going to be hard for you to get the right boon that you want on these units. And they're going to be facing competition from the budget blue units like Reinhardt and Delthea. Delthea being another powerful offensive mage who got a weapon refined recently, so they're definitely going to be facing competition in that regard. But if you like Linde or Delthea a lot and you've got a good IV spread for them, then you could definitely go with this weapon refined.
This is for my friends. I won't lose.
Both of them are quite similar, so I'm going to be covering both of their builds at the same time. So this is the first budget build. It's more budget for Delthea because she already comes with Death Blow. All you want to do is just run Darting Blow, Sacred Seal. With the Weapon Refine and 2 blow skills, you're going to be able to get +11 attack and +11 speed in the player phase, which can be really powerful. Their second build is about as original as all of these Bond Refines, but it's an option. And Delthea can actually run Speed Ploy because she's got higher resistance than Linde. And if you have got a plus resistance IV Linde, then you can also do that. But generally, Delthea is going to be a better ploy user. You could use Speed Ploy with this. And their third build allows you to see that amazing single-digit defense. So you're just going all out offensive, and you can use something like Heavy Blade or Flashing Blade to trigger Glimmer when you're in the desperation range. And their fourth and the final build is utilizing Joint Tone Speed. So because they need to stay near an ally to give them the +6 attack buff with their tome, they can run something like Joint Tone Speed, which is definitely expensive. And you can have a tactic skill on their seal slot and have an AoE rally skill like Rally Up Res from blue. So this is a more supportive build using expensive Joint Tone Speed. So overall, this batch of refines is pretty decent. It's not really overpowered or underwhelming or anything like that. Sonya is definitely going to be seeing more Ether Raid's defense usage because of her weapon refine, and in my opinion, Klein sees the most amount of improvement out of any of these units who have got a new weapon refine. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please be sure to leave a like and make sure to share this video with your friends who are excited about the weapon refines for any of these units. And if you haven't already, then make sure to subscribe for more Fire Emblem Heroes content, and please be sure to hit that notification bell so that you can get the updates to my videos quickly, because YouTube is about as broken as Leon after he saw Sophia getting this weapon refined. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.